I came across this cage over a stream on my UK-based farm, in a corner I've never explored before. The structure is made of solid wood, intentionally placed across the stream, with what appears to be a metal cage fixed on top. I didn't get close enough to confirm the material of the cage, but it seems to be metal. It's also filled with leaves, likely from the recent storm. Any idea what it could be? It's called a rail trap. There will be a fen trap under the mesh. It is for catching stoats, mink, weasels, and rats. The mesh is to stop not-target species getting hurt. It will be full of leaves after a flood. These animals are trapped to protect ground nesting birds like grouse, curlews, and capercaillies. I found it inside a coffee table, a wooden box with 2 holes on top, one circular and the other oval-shaped. It has a hinge on top that secures something inside, but I'm not sure what it's meant for. While cleaning it out, I noticed it doesn't have any distinct smell. I initially thought it might be used for storing tobacco, or a single cigarette and a lighter, but I still have no idea what its actual purpose is. Any ideas? It's called a dugout. You put your one hitter on one side and your ground wheat on the other. Tap, 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 and smoke, smoke, smoke. It's basically a straight pipe that can only hold one hit of weed. They come with the dugout, and most of the time, they look like a cigarette to at least try to be inconspicuous. I purchased this from an estate sale that had a lot of nautical items. The pole is 70 inches long and 5 inches in circumference, with the barbs measuring 5 inches from end to end. It looks old, and the barbs move independently, though they don't fully tuck inside. There are no visible identifying marks. Initially, I thought it might be a harpoon, but after doing some research, I learned that even antique harpoons don't seem to have this particular style of barb. Anyone know what this is? It is a type of pike pole, more specifically a plaster hook. In old houses, plaster was applied to wood lath. When pulling plaster ceilings or walls to check for fire extension, the plaster hook was pushed through the plaster and lath. The wing would fold in, making it easier to push through. Once through, the wings would expand, then you could pull down and wings would catch the wood lath. Keep pulling, and the lath would come loose and open up a section of void space, and it falls on your head, covering you with plaster, insulation, and dirt. Firefighting is so glamorous. We recently bought a house, and the previous owner must have left this behind. It's a wooden stick that was hanging near the oven, so I'm guessing it has something to do with cooking. There are no noticeable markings on it, and its weight is similar to that of a wooden spoon, so it doesn't feel too heavy. It's an odd object, and I can't quite figure out its purpose. If anyone has any ideas about what this wooden stick might be, I'd love to hear your thoughts. It's oven rack push-pull puller for baking, cooking, and grilling. It's perfect for checking things when they're not ready, removing it, adding lids, or if you're freaked out by ovens. I found this a few years ago in a free pile by the side of the road. It appears to be vintage, over 20 years old, and is mostly made of wood, with the black and white sections possibly being ivory. It's a little over a foot long, I believe. At first, I thought it might be a teacher's pointing stick for a map or chalkboard. However, I haven't been able to find enough information online to definitively determine its purpose. The handled end is slightly heavier than the pointed end, which makes me think the black and white areas might indeed be ivory. What is this wooden stick? It's a wand. This particular wand has been purchased by Wizards of Waverly Place and is used in their show on a regular basis, usually by Justin and Max. Rosewood is well known for its powers in matters of the heart, as well as for its medicinal qualities. This makes it the perfect wand for love, charms, and healing. The buffalo horn inlay, which encircles the handle in alternating cocoa, and white symbolizes both beauty and extreme power in its contrasting colors. About a decade ago, my late mother bought these at a garage sale, thinking I could use them as drumsticks. They're large wooden rods with balls at the ends, smooth to the touch, and there are maybe 20 of them. Each one is about a foot long. I'm not sure if they were meant for crocheting or if they're used for taiko drumming, but either way, they're an interesting find. Anyone know what this is? Those are xylophone mallets for Orff glockenspiels. You strike a xylophone and other percussion instruments almost parallel with the surface and in the middle of the ball with these mallets. I found this item at a charity shop, a wooden bowl with a handle and a cone-shaped raise center. There seems to be a screw hole on the back. It's a lightweight piece. My hand hopefully gives some scale. Based on the lack of varnish and the hole underneath, I'm wondering if it was once attached to something else. Any idea what it could be? It's a rice mold. It's for making perfect rice mounds on the plate. Wet it with water, press rice in it, turn it around. Makes little rice volcanoes. They're really common in Ecuador. I purchased this item in Madagascar about 30 years ago. It's a 1-foot diameter wooden disc with 37 movable marbles, each about 1 inch in diameter. The center has 37 divots, and there's a ring around the rim. There are no markings on the wooden circle, and each marble appears to be made from a different mineral or stone. I believe it might be some kind of game, perhaps similar to checkers, but I'm really interested in learning its name, rules, or if it's just an ornamental piece. Any ideas? It's a game of solitaire. The idea is that you jump a marble over another, eliminating it until only one is left. If you remove one from the corner, your next move would be to use the one from either the opposite corner to jump the one in the middle, or you can use the one 2 rows toward the middle. Either way, it makes openings to jump. In this picture, say you remove the white one on the top left. Then the rose quartz looking on in the top right can jump the marbled in the middle. Then the black one 3 rows down, and 3 from the right can jump the blue. From here, you could take the top marble from the far right column that looks like smoky quartz, or the 3rd column, 3rd row smoky black, or the 5th column, 5th row that looks like chocolate chip ice cream. Either of these 3 can be used to jump where the black marble was. You just remove the first one to make an empty spot to jump into. No matter which one you choose, there is always at least one marble that will be 2 away that can jump into it. I found this at a local antique store. It's a wooden box with a glass window, approximately 8 inches tall and 6 inches wide, and has a brass handle on top. The glass is covered by a wooden flap on a hinge, and behind the glass is another wooden panel with a small shelf behind that. The back of the box has a large round hole. The box is sealed and can only be accessed through the hole, so it can't be opened up to place a clock inside, especially with the shelves in the way. It seems to be a display case for something, but I'm not sure what. Any ideas? It is a marble secret ballot box. You have the front and backs reversed. It is prepared by first showing all voters there are no marbles behind the glass area and closing the back panel so no one can see the glass plate. Black and white marbles are placed in the base of the large hole in the front. A voter reaches into the hole and selects a white marble for approval or a black one for disapproval and places it in the small hole where it enters the area behind the glass. The large hole keeps the voting private where others can't see which marble is cast. After all the voting is complete, the box is turned around so the back is facing all voters and the wood panel is open to expose the marbles behind the glass and votes are tallied.